Chapters 6 and 7 of Leviticus are a culmination of the chapters concerning the sacrifices, and some of them, of course, were by fire. They were burned. A burnt offering was entirely burned. There were meat or meal offerings called mincha, MENCHHA, and those were bread or flour, and the leftovers of that were meant for the priest to eat. And there were wave offerings, wherein the offering was waved before the Lord, and there were heave offerings, wherein the offering was offered up to God and then returned, and these, of course, were not put on the fire. Chapter 6, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, If a soul sin and commit a trespass against the Lord, and lie unto his neighbor in that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or hath deceived his neighbor, 3, or have found that which was lost, and lieth concerning it, and sweareth falsely in any of these that a man doeth, sinning therein. Now the trespass was a trespass against a neighbor, and a neighbor would have been a fellow Israelite, period. This would have included out and out robbing a neighbor of a piece of property. It would have included lying about finding a lost animal or a piece of property, and it would have required repentance and sacrifice to make it right to the Lord and to the neighbor. 4. Then it shall be, because he hath sinned and is guilty, and this is a guilt offering, that he shall restore that which he took violently away. Number 1, if he took a sheep, he must restore it. Or the thing which he hath deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which he found. So it would have concerned out and out robbery, or finding a lost animal and claiming it, or perhaps selling it, or taking an animal that was to have been in safekeeping, belonging to his neighbor. 5. Or all that about which he hath sworn falsely, he shall even restore it in the principal, and shall add the 5th part more thereunto, and give it unto him to whom it appertaineth in the day of the trespass offering. So before this person makes this guilt offering for trespass, he must pay back the neighbor 1 for 1 plus an extra 5th. 6. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord, a ram without blemish out of the flock, with thy estimation for a trespass offering unto the priest. And this would be a costly offering. A ram, of course, would have been a possible breed stock male and without blemish, and it is brought to the priest to be offered for the sin. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord, and it shall be forgiven him for anything of all that he hath done in trespassing therein. In other words, he will be completely forgiven of this sin. 6. Command Aaron and his son, saying, This is the law of the burnt offering. It is the burnt offering because of the burning upon the altar all night unto the morning, and the fire of the altar shall be burning in it. And this would have been a daily burnt offering, and it would have burned all day and night. 10. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen breeches shall be put upon his flesh, and take up the ashes which the fire hath consumed with the burnt offering on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. Notice that he is changing his garment into linen, which of course is a washable garment. 11. And he shall put off his garments and put on other garments, and carry forth the ashes without the camp unto a clean place. These ashes would have been taken to an outside place on the outside of the camp, and of course it had to have been clean as well. 12. And the fire upon the altar shall be burning in it, it shall not be put out, and the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and lay the burnt offering in order upon it, and he shall burn thereon the fat of the peace offering. The peace offering would have been put on top, and this burnt offering would have been on a fire that was not ever allowed to go out. And this symbolized for the Israelites God's requirement for continuous worship, not periodic worship. And that is what he wishes from us today, is complete continuous worship, and not an hour on Sunday. 13. The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar, it shall never go out. And this is the law of the meat offering. The first one concerned burnt offering, and the second one is the mincha, spelled MENCHAHA, and this is a bread offering. The sons of Aaron shall offer it before the Lord, before the altar. This could have been a measure of very best flour. And he shall take of his handful of the flour of the meat offering, and of the oil thereof, and all the frankincense. And this is a bloodless offering, of course, and that symbolic of prayer, that fragrant frankincense going up to God, which is upon the meat offering, and shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor, even the memorial of it unto the Lord. A handful of the flour. 16. And the remainder thereof shall Aaron and his sons eat with unleavened bread. Shall it be eaten in the holy place, in the court of the tabernacle of the congregation? They shall eat it. Outside of the tabernacle, in that courtyard, was a place for the priests to eat. 17. It shall not be baked with leaven. I have given it unto them for their portion of my offering made by fire. It is most holy as is the sin offering, and as is the trespass offering. These offerings were considered holy, like communion is for us today, and only the priest were to eat it, and it had no leaven, because leaven would ferment and become impure, and leaven is symbolic throughout the Bible for sin. 18. And all the males among the children of Aaron shall eat of it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations concerning the offerings of the Lord made by fire. Every one that toucheth them shall be holy. And this was a responsibility of the priest, and it was not a privilege. 19. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, this is our cue that the subject will change. This is the offering of Aaron and of his sons, which they shall offer unto the Lord in the day when he is anointed. The 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a meat offering perpetual, half in the morning and half thereof at night. And this would have been ongoing, and it would have been wholly burnt. In a pan shall it be made with oil, and when it is baked, thou shalt bring it in, and the baked pieces of the meat offering thou shalt offer for a sweet savor unto the Lord. 22. And the priest, that's Aaron, of his sons that is anointed in his stead, shall offer it. It is a statute forever unto the Lord. It shall be wholly burnt. And this is the anointed priest, Aaron, and whoever will follow him as the anointed